This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
We're taking a little different route than we had hoped because getting Congress, they forgot what their pledges were. So we're going a little different route. But you know what? In the end, it's going to be just as effective, and maybe it'll even be better.
Congress has failed to repeal and replace Obamacare, so President Trump is trying to cripple it on his own. He has no use either for the Iran nuclear deal, decertifying it today. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the week in Washington in a moment, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. It has been more than a month since Hurricane Irma ripped through our area, and in many cases, piles of debris remain right where you left them in the front yard. The city of Sarasota is temporarily stopping the pickup of some debris, as ABC7's Erica Jackson shows us why.
Some Sarasota County residents are bringing storm debris from Hurricane Irma to this landfill in Nokomis, and Sarasota County officials want more residents to follow suit. Residents can bring green vegetative debris to the landfill off Knights Trail Road without paying a tipping fee. And the fee is also waived for Manatee County residents who drop off the debris at the Lena Road landfill starting Saturday. Some residents are taking action because they believe the debris piled up in residential areas is a safety concern.
I think it's becoming a fire hazard, actually, you know, it's all dried out on the side of the road. People come by, throw the cigarettes out the window. Throughout
local neighborhoods, pickup crews are working 6 days a week in 12 of the 38 zones throughout the county. More trucks are coming to Sarasota County, and the cleanup process is moving much faster compared to last week.
We've seen a huge increase, almost threefold, in the amount of vegetative yard debris that we're able to pick up each day. So we are up to close to 4,000 cubic yards per day.
Residents can check the status of the debris pickup schedule through Sarasota and Manatee County's interactive maps. And you can find the links to those on our website, mysuncoast.com. Reporting in Nokomis, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
There are a lot of folks who still need help 1 month after Irma. Food for Florida has opened a tent outside the Sarasota Square Mall. Hundreds lined up outside. Families are not receiving actual food at the tent. Instead, they are being given EBT cards that can be used to purchase food. To qualify, you must have suffered some kind of financial loss or damage from Hurricane Irma, whether it's a job loss or damage to your home.
So it can be used at grocery stores and convenience stores, but it has to be used for very specific items.
The Food for Florida tent will remain open through Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Another location will open in Manatee County at the DeSoto Square Mall on Sunday. Construction of the new Atlanta Braves spring training complex has not begun yet, but the team is already going to the bullpen. The main contractor has backed out. Atlanta-based Brassfield and Gore has pulled out of the project, but a Sarasota-based company, Tandem Construction, is coming in as relief. The Northport Chamber of Commerce is thrilled because local workers will be on the job.
As everybody's worried about Braves coming in and all these tax dollars going toward to the Braves in the private sector, this is just the beginning of what the benefits is going to happen with the Braves.
The stadium is set to host its first game in February of 2019. Take a good look at this video. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help identifying the man with the gun. It was recorded at 2:30 this morning at the Shell gas station on Fruitville Road in Sarasota. The suspect demanded cash before fleeing on foot westbound on Fruitville Road. Recognize the person in this video? You are asked to contact the Sarasota County Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. The massacre in Las Vegas renewed the gun debate across the nation, and here in Florida, a state senator is proposing the banning of devices known as bump stocks, which can be used to increase the firing rate of semi-automatic weapons. Bump stocks have drawn attention after being used in the Las Vegas massacre, where 58 people were killed and hundreds were injured.
90% of us didn't even know what this was or what it looked like or what it did. So I think that here in Florida, who knows what will happen nationwide in Washington, but I think in Florida we should discuss it.
Senator Stewart's bill would ban the possession and sale of bump stocks in Florida. The Florida House is on a fast track to try to repeal Florida's red light camera law. The Appropriations Committee voted to back elimination of the devices by July 2021. It is the only committee that will hear the bill before the issue moves to the House floor during the 2018 legislative session. 59 Florida cities and counties use red light cameras. Motorists cited for red light camera violations face a $158 fine.
Red light cameras are nothing but a money-making scheme for local governments. 49% of all the money go to the vendors. Only 14% go to increasing safety.
Representatives from the city of Orlando asked lawmakers to reject the repeal, arguing that cameras are improving road safety. Well, it's week 8 for Florida high school football, and we are starting to get a clearer picture of who may be in the playoffs. Tonight, a Manatee powerhouse faces off against a Sarasota powerhouse, and ABC7's Dwayne Lindo has more.
Well, Alan, this game is our big Class 8 matchup. The 3-1 Manatee Hurricanes travel south to take on the 4-1 Riverview Rams. Both teams are undefeated in districts and have momentum going into this game, scoring a combined 108 points last week. Without question, the offenses on both squads have been on a mission. The Hurricanes lost to Palmetto earlier in the season, but have gone on a 3-game winning streak since. A lot of that has to do with the play of Keon Fordham and Josh Booker. Palm Harbor University was their latest victim, beating them a whopping 51-13. Riverview doing pretty much the same in the district, beating Newsom out of Hillsborough County by more than 50 points. Top players, Arthur Brantley, Ollie Boyce, and Zy Grable on the offense, rounding things out. Remember last year the Rams edging the Hurricanes out for the district championships? But this time around, Manatee will be looking for revenge. You can catch these highlights and scores on Football Friday night tonight at 11:15. Alan, back to you.
Thanks, Dwayne. The big question is the weather, and with the answer is Bob Harrigan. Bob.
It's been such a factor, too, over the past several weeks, Alan, but not a problem tonight. If you see any rainfall at all at the stadium that you're going to attend, it will be brief. It will move through rather quickly. Here's a look at what's going on right now. One lone shower off of Anna Maria. Some activity in East Manatee County right now and near Venice and Sarasota. Not a lot happening. You can see the showers are also weakening as they make their way off toward the west. I mentioned those very few showers around at this point, and you can see a little activity just east of Mayaca City. But so a good night tonight, and sunset looking gorgeous here. We have 82 degrees, the dew point 75, winds are out of the east-northeast at 8, and the pressure 2997, and that is now starting to rise. Temperatures currently up and down the coast pretty mild in the low 80s now, 82 in Bradenton, same in Venice, Sarasota, Cortez, and Inglewood, and 83 now Northport. The Gulf water temperature at 83 degrees, and we're looking at the evening planner. A slight chance for an evening shower up until around 8 o'clock, and then partly cloudy skies thereafter. 76 by 11 o'clock tonight. Temperatures will be a few degrees above average over the weekend. We're looking for highs generally into the upper 80s, typical highs for this time of year into the mid 80s. You can see from the satellite review, not a lot going on. There's a few showers I mentioned along the east coast now, some heavier weather there. Some of that will eventually traverse across the peninsula tomorrow and bring us a better chance for some scattered storms. All is quiet in the tropics nearby. In the Gulf of Mexico, nothing going on. It doesn't appear to be anything going on. By the way, check the long-range forecast for the eastern third of the United States. It's calling for above average temperatures for all of next week, so don't expect any rapid cool down at this point. The atmosphere is relatively dry right now too across most of the area, so we'll see some showers tomorrow. Not a lot of activity though as we move in through the weekend. Good chance for scattered storms.
I need enough for the lawn.
I know. I had to water mine today, unfortunately. I'm looking for a little bit more tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, President Trump is cutting funds for Obamacare. The week in Washington in a moment.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View. Are you ready to be spooked by the big screen? I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we're getting in the Halloween spirit by asking our film guy about monster movies. Manatee School for the Arts will be here with their talented teens to preview their musical, Into the Woods. Our beauty expert is back with limited release products you won't want to miss. And Geyer's Sausage Kitchen is in our kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Our accredited staff will handle all of the Medicare paperwork for free, and best of all, your brace is shipped directly to your home for free. Don't let chronic lower back pain slow you down. Get moving and stay active with a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost. We also accept Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, and other insurance. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare? Find out for free.
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-715-0835. That's 1-800-715-0835, 1-800-715-0835.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
After repeatedly failing to get a bill to repeal and replace Obamacare through the Senate, President Trump is acting independently to dismantle his predecessor's signature domestic achievement. CNN's Joe Johns reports.
President Trump upending the health care markets, scrapping critical subsidy payments to insurers that help nearly 6 million lower-income Americans pay for health care. The payments, which will cost the federal government about $7 billion this year, set to end immediately. Without the subsidies, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that exchange premiums will rise 20% next year and increase the national deficit by $194 billion over 10 years. The move could force many insurers to flee the marketplace entirely.
We pay hundreds of millions of dollars a month in subsidy that the courts don't even want us to pay. And when those payments stop, it stops immediately.
President Trump has threatened to end the subsidies for months, but lawmakers in both parties have urged the administration to continue the payments in the short term to stabilize the markets. The White House declaring Thursday that the government cannot lawfully make the cost-sharing reduction payments. Democratic leadership blasting the decision as a spiteful act of vast, pointless sabotage leveled at working families and the middle class, before insisting that President Trump will pay a price for this decision. House Speaker Paul Ryan applauding the move, while Republican Congresswoman Ileana Ross-Lehtinen tweeted, "Cutting health care subsidies will mean more uninsured in my district. POTUS promised more access, affordable coverage. This does opposite." It comes hours after the president signed an executive order allowing people to buy cheaper, more basic plans, something experts say will drive up the cost of premiums for sicker patients.
This will cost the United States government virtually nothing, and people will have great health care.
President Trump legislating through executive order despite repeatedly attacking his predecessor for doing the same.
You have a president that signs executive orders because he can't get anything done.
Right now, Obama goes around signing executive orders. He can't even get along with the Democrats.
These significant decisions coming ahead of another consequential announcement this afternoon.
That deal is an embarrassment to the United States.
President Trump set to announce he will decertify Iran's compliance with the nuclear agreement, a move that kicks the issue to Congress but stops short of withdrawing from the agreement entirely. Lawmakers would then have 60 days to decide on whether to reinstate economic sanctions lifted under the agreement.
From Obamacare to the Iran deal, the brightest local Democrats and Republicans hash it out at the trapezoid in a moment.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Welcome back. So what do you think? President Trump just decertified the Iran nuclear deal, leading the German foreign minister to say it will, quote, drive us Europeans into a common position with Russia and China against the USA. The president cut off subsidy payments to Obamacare, although according to a new poll, 71% of Americans want to fix the Affordable Care Act, not kill it. And the president is threatening to pull federal resources out of hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico, while according to another new poll, 62% of Americans don't believe the people there are getting the help that they need. Joining us for more is Jack Brill, vice chair of the Sarasota County Republican Party, Frank Alcock, a political science professor at New College, and Mark Weston, the author of The Runner-Up Presidency. Jack, it's been a dizzying 24 hours. Let's start with Obamacare. As we said, a new Kaiser Family Foundation poll finds that 71% of Americans want the Trump administration to fix the Affordable Care Act, which is pretty much the opposite of what he's trying to do.
But you got to remember, and he's done this a number of times, he's thrown it over to Congress. And if you think about following the Constitution, the executive order that President Obama put in is an appropriations, and only Congress is allowed to appropriate funds for programs. So if you look at, Congress can now, follow up, reappropriate the money, but you also have to look at that. The associations to be able to have state competition. You think about it, in 2016, there were 6.7 million people in this country, especially the younger and healthier, that paid the IRS tax versus actually taking Obamacare, because it was a lot cheaper.
So the answer is to kick it over to a Congress that has not been able to do anything about anything on anything. Frank, what happens now?
What happens now, unless there's something reversed in Congress, which is that's a bet that I don't see working out. What you're likely to see with these executive orders, you're likely to see a robust lemon plan come out, which is sort of low cost, very cheap health care plans, which will attract healthy younger Americans. It will pull them out of the insurance exchanges, the state exchanges, leaving a toxic risk pool that no insurance companies are going to want to touch. And then at the same time, pulling away the subsidies that incentivize that without much of an answer with respect to, what mechanism are you going to provide to cover people with pre-existing health care that are not employed, they don't have insurer-backed employees. So you're likely to see healthy people buying lemon plans that don't provide much coverage, but they're cheap. And then the rest of the folks, I don't know what they're going to do about them.
Frank and all, but if you think about it, use that stat I use, you already got almost 7 million people last year that paid whatever the $2,000 fine or whatever the current rate is. So they're already opted out. And they're still getting, so it's already happening.
I don't know if this is going to be that horrible for the younger Americans unless there's something that's not covered that they don't realize. But I do think people with pre-existing conditions, the older, the people that are in that 50 to 64 range, is yikes.
And we do have to cover pre-existing conditions.
Let me ask you this question. Between the Affordable Care Act action and also decertifying the Iran nuclear deal, you study presidents and presidential politics. Has anything like this happened before?
Not that I'm aware of. He has done more to undo the accomplishments of the Obama presidency in the last 48 hours than the rest of his term combined. So it's really quite huge.
Has any president taken this kind of executive action to undo a prior administration like this?
Usually when there is a social welfare program, the next administration will tweak it, modify it, but they won't just try to sabotage it. And same thing with treaties. Successive governments honor the agreements made by preceding governments.
Because that was the question that I have, and maybe we have to spill over to the next segment, but what precedence does this make if countries around the world will see the U.S. in terms of backing out of a deal? How good is an American deal in the future?
There's not going to be any agreement with North Korea. Why in the world would they have a nuclear agreement with us when the United States shows every sign of wanting to pull out of this one?
Okay, we are just getting warmed up. We'll have much more in the Week in Washington right after we check the first alert weather. Stay with us.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, Pat's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Medicare's annual election period has begun. If you already have Medicare, new benefits may now be available with no copays, no deductibles, or $0 premiums. Call now to speak to a licensed insurance agent who can help guide you step by step through a free analysis of the benefits available to you. And you may be eligible for plans that even include additional coverage for dental, vision, and prescription drugs. MedicareAdvantage.com searches thousands of insurance plans from leading insurance companies. We'll help you find plans that may cost you less, cover more benefits, and give you more choices, like home delivery of your prescriptions, gym memberships, and even over-the-counter allowances for everyday needs, like antacid, allergy medicine, vitamins, and even toothpaste. Don't miss the deadline to enroll. It's time to get more out of Medicare.
Call 800-314-8605. That's 800-314-8605. 800-314-8605. Call now.
Now, your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, got to look at the Van Wezel webcam showing a few brief showers occasionally off in the distance, moving out into the Gulf. Though that's the good news, is that if we see any rainfall this evening, it should move through fairly quickly toward the west at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. We have had some downpours. They've been significant in some areas, but most areas have stayed dry today. And you can see there's still a lot more moisture to the east of us, and we'll deal with that on Saturday. But for the time being, there's not a lot going on, and it should stay that way, as I mentioned. Once in a while, you'll see a pretty heavy shower pop up here and there on the radar screen. So don't be surprised. If you're going to the games, you may catch a brief shower or two, but most areas will stay dry. 82 degrees, our current temp. And the dew point is at 76, so still pretty muggy out there. East winds at 10, the pressure 2995, but should be a pleasant evening and should be a good start tomorrow. Temperatures will be a little bit above average, which is normally 69 for a start. We were at 75 this morning, 89 for a high today. So all week long, temperatures have been above average, which is normally 86. Looks as though we'll stay that way too over the weekend, with highs expected to reach into the upper 80s both on Saturday and Sunday. We don't need any more rainfall for the year. We've had 61 inches. Just a little bit above that. That's well above average. And right now, we are looking at a few storms tomorrow afternoon. We could even see some lightning strikes. You know, we didn't have much lightning today. A few strikes came with a storm that moved through Lakewood Ranch all the way near University. And we are looking at some showers now tomorrow afternoon and then tomorrow evening at 82 for temperatures, as some of the showers will cool things off. So tonight, mostly cloudy and then becoming partly cloudy overnight. Showers developing on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon as we see that easterly flow continue. Well, things are quiet now in the tropics, which is good for us here in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Watching this tropical wave, but it's being sheared apart in the upper levels of the atmosphere, so no concern there. But down the road, this may do something. We'll keep an eye on it. Right now, not a big problem at all. But this isn't a problem in any land area, but it is a problem eventually, I think, for possibly Ireland. It could be a very significant storm there, with winds gusting as high as 90 to 100 miles an hour. We'll see if that works out, but right now that'll happen on early Monday and into Tuesday of next week. Top winds at 100. It's starting to look less and less like a hurricane, a little bit less tropical in nature, but still a very strong storm moving off to the northeast and then eventually to the north. I mentioned Ireland. Well, there it is. There's Ireland right here, and winds could be as high as 75, and as I mentioned, the gusts could be much higher than that as it moves in on Monday. Well, for boaters tomorrow, east winds at 15 knots, and then subsiding somewhat in the afternoon, 5 to 10. Seas 2 to 3 feet, and a moderate chop. Water temperature at 83. The forecast tides on your screen, and a high tide at 8:22 tomorrow morning. Scattered storms, maybe showers. That'll be about it. Partly cloudy, 75 for a low tomorrow. Some clouds late in the day. Showers and storms scattered about, a high of 88. The extended forecast shapes up like this. A good deal of scattered showers Saturday and Sunday, and then still stays with us through Wednesday. We'll be right back after this.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
We're talking about the week in Washington, and joining us for more is Jack Brill, Vice Chair of the Sarasota County Republican Party, Frank Alcock, a political science professor at New College of Florida, and Mark Weston, author of The Runner-Up Presidency. And I know, gentlemen, you are all your harshest critics, as am I, as is our president. Let's take a look.
In the last 10 months, we have followed through on one promise after another. I didn't have a schedule, but if I did have a schedule, I would say we are substantially ahead of schedule.
I'm sorry, I must have missed the bill signing for the repeal and replace of Obamacare and tax reform. You know, he got a lot of cheers, friendly crowd today, Mark, but when you hear the president say something like that, you know, what are you thinking?
He has told so many falsehoods we can't even begin to count them, so this is just another one. There has not been one single major or even medium piece of legislation during this entire year. He's trying to undo Obamacare, and it's going to make it much more difficult to insure people with pre-existing conditions, which if the Republicans just had the honesty to say, we don't think the government is responsible for insuring people with pre-existing conditions, that would be one thing. But they don't say that. They say, oh, we can insure them and it's going to be a great program, but they don't seem to realize that in order to have it paid for, you need young, healthy people contributing into the system.
But the legitimate question is, you know, where are the Democrats here? You know, I remember having David Jolly, the former Republican congressman, on this show, who leaned over and said, this is the perfect opportunity for Democrats to say, this is how we will fix Obamacare. And we're not hearing that yet.
Senators Lamar Alexander and Patty Murray are working on a bipartisan piece of legislation to improve Obamacare and fix the problems. And why more people aren't on board with this, I don't understand.
Jack, let me ask you this, because I know a lot of good Republicans on the Sun Coast agree with the president's agenda, but how do you feel about how he is trying to go about it?
As we have talked many times, he's unorthodox. You know, we knew that when he was going in, and will continue to keep, you know, his strategy going the way he wants it to go. And part of that is to keep everybody, you know, keep moving along. Now, Mark, I do got to tie in. He's signed a ton of executive orders. You know, Obama signed a ton of executive orders.
And he criticized him for it.
And he did, and he's signing a lot of executive orders undoing the Obama executive orders. You know, so there has been a lot of that.
But you know, Frank, it's one thing to say that the president is unorthodox, but there are a lot of people who are watching this right now who are having a hard time making ends meet. They are, you know, they've had it with their health care insurance premiums and their out-of-pocket costs, and they're getting tired of you know, unorthodox leadership, and they want to see whether it's the Republicans or Democrats actually do something.
Yeah, it's the style and the results. I mean, the style, we're polarized on it. They're going to be the Trump haters and the Trump lovers. I don't know if that's ever going to change, but I think people are concerned first and foremost about results. I don't think the executive actions that this president has taken will make people's lives better. That certainly on domestic policy, and this week certainly on the international issues, which the stakes are extremely high when it comes to Iran, North Korea. The decertification is an initial step, but for me it comes back, unorthodox or not, it's not about niceties, and the Iranians are certainly tough players. You know, is this going to give us more or less leverage? and that's the question.
Jack,
I think
I'll give you a chance to respond, then I want to
But
get to
you got to remember, and there's something just because of the being involved in the healthcare business. So far this year, 86 hospitals in this country have filed for bankruptcy. We're on schedule because of the Medicare, Medicaid reimbursements under the Affordable Health Care Act. There are going to be about 500 hospitals that close their doors around the country, most of them in smaller rural areas.
Isn't that happening because for the last several years, when it was obvious that Obamacare needed fixing, the Congress would not do so to shore up the markets?
I think it's a combination of, the 17 was always going to be the big year of changes under the Affordable Health Care Act. That's when, the temporary insurance, which a lot of businesses have gone to, went from a year to 90 days because, it's a lot cheaper for a small business to do temporary insurance versus the plan. There's a number of dynamics that have gone in, and this was the year where it really kicked in, and our hospital system, especially in the nonprofit community hospitals, are getting choked by the reimbursement.
Congress has not been willing to do anything about it.
But it's still under it's always under what started under the Affordable Health Care Act, though.
After Social Security was passed in the 1930s, people saw flaws, and Congress fixed them. Republicans who had voted against the Social Security Act recognized that the flaws needed to be fixed and helped everybody to fix them. That has not happened this time.
All right, let's turn to the Iran deal. What I don't get about, I get why the president said during the campaign that he did not like the Iran deal. I get that, but you have the Secretary of State, you have the Defense Secretary saying that that Iran was complying with the deal, and they were urging the president not to do what he did today. One professor from the Kennedy School of Government said today, Trump's erratic behavior at home and abroad has gravely damaged confidence in U.S. steadiness and leadership, and his policies are leaving other states, other countries, no choice but to explore other arrangements. That can't be good for U.S. foreign policy.
But if you look into it, he didn't get rid of the deal. He got out of him having to certify, being to certify that they're in compliance, which was one of his agenda items. Again, as we discussed earlier, here's something that now Congress, it's over in Congress's lap to see whether they want to do sanctions, they want to keep the deal. So it's part of this, what is developing as the year has gone on, this strategy that he's thrown it over to Congress.
Frank, predict what's going to happen now.
Yeah, there's three things that I want people to focus on. Immediately, the first two, with respect to the Iranian deal, what the president did today, does this increase his ability to bring coercive pressure on the Iranians? If it does, then I'm like, well, we'll see how that works. I'm not sure if he can bring. It does release or potentially release the Iranians from their obligation. I do think for all the flaws in this agreement, it did stall or slow down the Iranians' rush to a nuclear weapon. It might accelerate now. And then I think with respect to every other country in the world, there is, why would you sign an agreement with the Americans? You could elect a Trump with 4 years, and they'll just turn around.
One more issue that I want to turn to. Puerto Rico.
Can I just want, this deal cannot be renegotiated. Fantasy scenarios where we get all these concessions and don't offer concessions in return is not going to happen. And we need this agreement as much as Iran does, because Trump said he would block all paths to an Iranian nuclear weapon, but he didn't say how he would do that short of war.
All right, so Jack, that is one of the issues here. Is it's one thing for the president to do what he did today, but you are not going to get the allies, England, France, China, Russia, in this situation to go along with the U.S. They are going to abide by those agreements, including the lifting of sanctions against Iran.
Probably, but we made Israel very happy today. So we have one ally that actually liked what we did. So
check back and
check back. I'm not disagreeing with you. But Mark, to your point, of who's going to, it may have slowed down things, but at the same time, you've got to be able to, trust but verify. And how do we know this was they're going to end up doing? They're doing it anyway.
The Secretary did say that Iran has abided by the deal technically. That they have.
Are the most intrusive inspections of any nuclear agreement there's ever been. There are military sites we can't go to without notice, but you can't move or hide radioactivity. So that the inspectors can go to those military sites and measure things.
All right, we have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with final thoughts in a moment.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful.
That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled, and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded, so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Time for final thoughts. I'm going to throw you all a curveball because, as I was mentioning in our commercial break, Public Policy Program polling did a poll of a dozen swing districts around the United States, and it shows that Republican incumbents in tight districts are falling behind. This is a very red district, but at what point, Jack, do you become concerned that things are not going quite well, the agenda is not getting through, and it may jeopardize Republicans in the midterms?
Well, number one, even as red as we are in Sarasota County and in the region, every race individually is a race you run 10 points behind because you want to make sure that your candidates win. And I think you also have to, all politics is local, as we all know. As long as in Sarasota County we're keeping our taxes low, we're keeping services, for our citizens, that the Republicans and our elected officials, which are all Republican as we know, except for one, that's gonna, there'll be a disconnect. I think you're seeing a lot more of a disconnect that it's, okay, those folks in Washington, if they're in D.C. for more than 10 minutes, they're now part of the establishment, but that won't affect us locally.
Jack, your take?
Frank.
Frank, I'm sorry.
Having run for the state senate, there's a degree of humility in terms of projecting beforehand, and I don't like to backtrack from calculations as to how this is going to affect or how do you posture in order to affect electoral outcomes. I'm concerned, like I said, for our nation's security. I'm concerned for middle and low-income families. How people end up voting in the next election, who knows?
Mark, we have less than a year left. A year in politics is a lifetime, so anything can happen. But what do you think?
I think this has already turned into a swing district that could go either way next November. The Republicans right now are still more afraid of having someone more conservative than they are run against them in the primary, so they haven't moved to the center but each month that they don't move to the center, they jeopardize their seats.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, but before we go, we want to share with you some thoughts on last night's show. The cost of health care, the price of health care goes up year after year, not just Obamacare, but we're talking about employer-based insurance, the premiums, the copays, all increasing. Billy says when both parties do the will of the people, the issue of health care will be solved. We must cover those who need it, aid, and cut outrageous costs of premiums. Barbara says, I have been working in health care for over 30 years. What I have seen in that time is the insurance companies who are more focused on their investors than actually providing the services we pay premiums for have driven up the cost of health care. And Monica says the healthcare system is broken. Healthcare premiums have been skyrocketing for years long before Obamacare. The health care industry is a huge for-profit industry, and they work together paying off politicians by means of campaign contributions to protect those profits. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions. They're on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And want to stay up to date on the latest local news? We're proud to announce our new ABC7 My Suncoast News app. If you're an iPhone or iPad user, currently have our news app, you'll want to go to the App Store now and download WWSB ABC7 Tampa My Suncoast. It's free, and it provides the most comprehensive news coverage for Sarasota, Manatee, Charlotte, Hardee, and DeSoto counties. Android users, no worries, you'll get the new version automatically. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Jack Brill is the vice chair of the Sarasota County Republican Party. Frank Alcock is a political science professor at New College, and Mark Weston is the author of The Runner-Up Presidency. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus President Trump's own words on why he's choosing to decertify the Iran nuclear deal when we come back.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-817-1064.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, Casey Key webcam showing those isolated showers moving out into the Gulf throughout the afternoon, bringing some moderate to heavy rain at times over certain areas, not a lot, and looks as though we will see a nice evening ahead. A lot of football games being played, and looks to be okay. We'll see temperatures on the warmer side for the most part in the low to mid 80s, but generally rain-free. I think we'll have to keep an eye on these showers here that are moving through Arcadia, near Arcadia and Wauchula. Those are progressing to the west, so there's a chance for a hit or miss shower. Should not be around all that long, and there hasn't been a whole lot of lightning generated by these storms either, so that will not be a factor as if we get any at all. Some heavier storms down to our south of, again, looks like Charlotte Harbor. 82 degrees current temperature. We have a few clouds and the dew point 76. Winds are out of the east at 10. The pressure 2995, and that is again falling ever so slightly. The high today not falling but rising above average 89. The average high at 86. And the record 93 degrees. It's been a warm week, and it looks like it'll stay pretty warm over the weekend. We're looking for high temperatures tomorrow, staying to the upper 80s. Now there's a chance, we'll see, a good chance of showers and storms scattered about mid-afternoon to late afternoon, and then tapering off in the evening. I think tomorrow a better chance to see some lightning around with some of the cells. The atmosphere is moistening up a bit. But most of the day should be okay with partly cloudy skies. In the tropics, all is quiet. That's nice to see. The Caribbean, all is fair there. And the Gulf of Mexico, nothing going on. There's a little line of low pressure, if you will, moving in over the Florida Straits, but that's about it. And this amazing storm, Ophelia, won't give up. This is, again, a record breaker, the strongest storm this far east late in the season than there's ever been recorded. And again, this moving off to the northeast now, east-northeast at 13. The winds are at 100 miles an hour and is expected to do this curve right into, unfortunately, it looks like Ireland with winds up to 75 mile an hour sustained. Gusts could be as high as 90 to 100 come Monday as a result of this storm heading that way. Well, once we get a couple of cold fronts move through, it shuts down the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, but that isn't going to happen for at least now a week and a half, couple of weeks. There's no real threat of any significant cold fronts coming down, so there's plenty of energy down here, but as I pointed out earlier, there's nothing happening right now. All is quiet in the tropics, and it looks like it'll stay that way for the next 7 days. East winds at 15 knots for boaters, subsiding in the afternoon, down to 5 to 10. Seas at 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop. Water temperature at 83, and a few scattered storms in the afternoon. Look out for that if you're going boating tomorrow. And sunrise will be at 7:30. High tide upcoming at 10:28. Some scattered showers still possible this evening. They'll be widely scattered. 75 for a low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning and then cloudy in the afternoon, a high of 88. More storms in the afternoon and evening. And the extended forecast, pretty good chances for at least scattered activity right through Wednesday, and then less action come Thursday and Friday. Alan will be back right after this.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter mile north of University Parkway.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, Contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Watch Your Suncoast News at 6 on your streaming device for a chance to win a $50 Visa. It's easy. Just watch weekdays at 6 for the word of the week. Then enter the word at mysuncoast.com for your shot at a $50 Visa. We'll pick the winner each week. Good luck.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump has declared the Iran nuclear deal no longer in the U.S. national security interests. ABC's Serena Marshall reports on what that means from Washington.
President Trump breaking with world leaders, saying Iran is not living up to the spirit of the Iran nuclear deal.
We cannot and will not make this certification.
Well, he fell short of pulling the U.S. out of the deal, which lifted punishing sanctions on the Iranian regime for limits on and inspections of its nuclear program. He did decertify the agreement and also imposed new sanctions on Iran's Revolutionary Guard for supporting terrorism. Trump vows that his policy will mean
that Iran never, and I mean never, acquires a nuclear weapon.
The agreement, however, was meant to do just that.
By decertifying the Iran deal, the president would be undermining this important deal that is preventing Iran from pursuing nuclear weapons.
With the decision, the president goes against the advice of many in his own security team and isolates the U.S. against our closest allies, who say Iran is abiding by the spirit of the deal. The European Union's top diplomat says ending the deal that was negotiated internationally isn't the president's choice.
We cannot afford, as international community, as Europe for sure, to dismantle a nuclear agreement that is working and delivering.
Iran says it's America who's made clear its lack of adherence to the deal and its spirit. The move essentially punts the issue to Congress. But if Congress can't reach an agreement the president likes,
then the agreement will be terminated.
The governments of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom issuing a joint statement saying they are concerned over the implications of the United States decertifying the nuclear deal, but they remain committed to making sure it is maintained. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Fashion icon and model Heidi Klum is praising the women who have spoken out about sexual misconduct allegations against producer Harvey Weinstein. The Weinstein Company, which has produced the Klum show Project Runway, fired Weinstein Sunday amid sex abuse allegations. Numerous women have accused him of sexual harassment and assault, including 4 women who say he raped them. Weinstein's lawyer says he believes clients of all his relationships were consensual. In a statement to People magazine, Klum said, in part, "I truly admire those brave women who are coming forward." She said the problem of sexual harassment and assault is serious and pervasive, existing not just in Hollywood, but around the world. Wildfires in California's Napa Valley are prompting mass evacuations. Animals are among those affected. Some high school students are offering their hand during the crisis by helping to care for horses, goats, and other animals displaced.
I'd rather be here working than at home sitting, just watching the news, waiting for something bad to happen next.
The fires have already destroyed several buildings and caused multiple deaths in the state. Officials say strong winds throughout the weekend could worsen conditions. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohen. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.